We don't let anything bring us down.
Nothing. We like the roaches that don't die. Nobody can squash us.
Come back with a crutch and one leg bandaged up and sticking way out. We're just like, we're coming back for more. We here to ruin somebody's day.
We are here for another podcast.
I'll rock 12 views a week for the rest of my life. I don't care. Am I opening this thing up?
Yeah.
Oh, welcome back, episode 13.
13.
Got it
He
right
finally
on the
got
first
it right.
take.
Woo, woo.
First take, baby.
He
That's
did
what
ask
I'm
me right
talking.
before I pressed record, though. So.
Hush, woman, hush. But I was right when I asked you, though.
You were right. Anyway, episode 13. Here we are.
Back
Got our
at
candles lit. We are just
Everybody's
living life.
asleep.
Living life. 11:30 at night. Woo, woo. You know,
I got 4 cups of coffee in me.
I just have one.
I'm good to go.
It's my Nespresso. Y'all, this is just my little tea over here. I love my Nespresso. I love it. It costs like $11 something for, I think it's 8, it might be 10 pods at Target. So I feel like each one of them is like valuable. They're like $1 something, you know, a piece, which isn't bad if you compare it to like Starbucks drinks and stuff. But my creamer that I bought, I was trying to get all, you know, like, I like flavored creamer. Justin does not like flavored creamer.
Absolutely not. Hate it. Hate it.
I love flavored creamer.
It makes it, I don't know. I just like milk and sugar.
I mean, I like that too, but I mean, I like to spice it up a little bit. Anyway,
Put
I bought
honey
some. No. I got some creamer from Coffee Mate, and it's the cinnamon roll one. And I was like, heck yeah. But it's sugar-free, and I was like, you know how whenever you shop in a certain mindset, like, I'm going to be healthier. I'm not going to drink as much sugar. And then I get home, and I use my Nespresso pod, my valuable Nespresso pod, and I pour in my sugar-free coffee creamer, and I'm like, I can do this. And I drink it, and it's not giving at all. Like, it's horrible. And you can almost taste, like, the aspartame, like,
Starting to sound like
after
my mother.
effect. No, like you really can. Like it has a really bad aftertaste to it. Like it's horrible. And even if I did add sugar to it, you know, just like since it's sugar free, add sugar to it, it still has that artificial sugar taste to it. So now I can't drink any coffee. I'm gonna have to go buy some decent creamer.
Milk.
I want some good creamer to go with my Nespresso pods. I don't want just milk.
Well, I overdosed it a little bit on the first cup that I drank. So I poured 2 cups in, and then I overdosed it on the honey. So I had to come back after I done choked down most of it because it was super sweet.
I do have 1 packet of hot chocolate left, and I'm thinking about making me some, you know.
I was talking here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No.
Now you know
Jeez.
how I feel.
I'm like, nobody cares about you and your hot cocoa. Anyway. Let's move on from this. You've done ruined the whole vibe of the coffee thing. I do want to jump into this, though, because I thought this was interesting.
Did you?
The immature little boy in me thought this was funny. The dad in me would have skull drug somebody over this.
Yeah.
But in South Carolina, there were 2 women charged with having a fight ring at a daycare with 3 and 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
It was over a dozen of them. They had a dozen
I would have been
kids.
so mad.
Dude. Like, they were filming it and selling the videos, like, posting the videos. They were in there encouraging these children to fight.
Where were they selling these videos at, though?
I guess they were posting them on, like, their social media or something. I'm not sure. The news article I read didn't say where they were posting these videos, but there's a bunch of security footage of it. The daycare wouldn't release, only the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
Part of me would love to see some of it, just to be like,
well, like you were saying before, like a lot of these kids are, you know.
Yeah, one of the moms.
Justin said he's trying to be all like sensitive right now.
Well,
he was like, I bet a lot of these kids are in Taekwondo or something.
Yeah,
like it doesn't mean anything
I'm gonna
to
get
them.
to that, but I'm like, I'm talking from the dad side of me right now. You know,
Oh, okay.
the immature little boy comments is fixing to come out here in a minute. But like the
I didn't
dad side of me
understand
would be extremely upset, like extremely.
Yeah, I would have been for sure.
And now here comes the other side of this.
Yeah, this is
Let's
the
flip
more
this
realistic Justin.
I
here.
would have laughed if I'd seen that footage in that sheriff's department. If I'd have been a sheriff, I'd be like, "Dang, that's a head kick! Look at that!" I would have been like, "They had a side hustle running." Because I mean, one of the moms was like, "This is life altering. You don't know how it's going
It's
to
not life altering. I don't remember
this
anything
child
earlier than like 10.
Look, and there's like what you were saying a while ago. Most of these kids are already probably signed up in taekwondo. They already
That's what
play
you were saying,
football. Or well, you were saying that I was saying that.
Yeah.
I'm getting back to it. They
Yeah.
already probably play pee-wee football, contact sport.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I mean,
get
it's
it,
a
but
big
it's
deal,
not.
but it's not
It's life altering because you got somebody in your ear maybe going, "Hey, kick me in the head one more
I
time."
don't believe it would be life altering. I mean, I'm not a specialist in child development, so I could be completely wrong. But I mean, there were like traumatic things in my life as a kid that I remember still, but I wouldn't imagine that would be something that was life altering for them.
Nah, I wouldn't think so.
Those events that I remember didn't really alter my life.
I mean, I grew up roughhousing.
It's not like it's
so,
like
I mean,
abuse. I mean, it's abuse, but it's not
it's
like
a form of abuse because it wasn't.
I guess I got to be careful like what I say, but it doesn't seem like it would be abuse to the point where like it's life altering.
And the thing said that none of the kids had apparent injuries.
Well, I mean,
how
long have they been doing this though?
Oh wow, apparently it's been going on a
minute.
minute.
Just saying that like, oh well, so and so fell, so and so tripped, and just blaming it on like regular
playground play.
Yeah.
Why you got a black
because,
eye?
Like,
Why
even
you got
Emery,
a footprint on your cheek?
You know, Emery was in daycare from, how old was she? 10 months?
Yeah.
I think she was like 10 months old whenever we put her. No, it was like 9 months, I think, because it was.
Either way, 9 or 10
Yeah,
months.
either way. So even then, she was crawling, because she has her in follicle, you know, so they wanted to keep her in the baby room as long as possible, even though she was crawling around and stuff. And because she wasn't able to get beat up by the kids her age, you know what I mean? Like, they were all walking around already, and she wasn't really that stable. But where I'm going with this is that she was crawling around, and the lady that was watching her wasn't paying attention because she was with another baby, and Emery was fast. I mean, it happens. And she crawled behind the rocking chair, and the rocking chair peeled her baby pinky, like the fingernail, off of her finger. And I mean, the whole thing came off. And I mean, that was just like a freak accident. So imagine what these kids were actually like being sent home, being described as what actually happened, but it didn't actually happen that way. They were filming like this chicken fight between kids. And it's sad. Like, I would be so mad because even whenever the situation happened with Emery, they called me and told me, but they didn't tell me like her whole fingernail came off. They just told me like, hey, she's bleeding just a little bit, but she should be fine. Like, we're so sorry. And I was like, well, it's fine. You know, I'll just finish work and then I'll come get her if she's just bleeding a little bit. I mean, it's just probably like a superficial thing.
Yeah.
I get there and they were like, it's worse than what we thought it was. Her whole fingernail's gone. I was like, well, y'all had my number. Y'all could have called me back and like told me so I can come get my daughter. Cause I mean, I'm sure she's in like searing pain and they can't give her any Tylenol because I don't have that on the list of medication to give her.
Yeah.
So bless her heart. She's over there like in so much pain for just like 3 hours waiting on me to get off work. And I didn't even know.
Knock on wood. I've never lost a fingernail, but I have pulled skin down to the quick of my finger, and that hurts so bad. I couldn't imagine losing a fingernail.
Yeah, and especially at that age, like, that's horrible. And with strangers, too, basically. Like, you don't have anybody that you're bonded with around you, and you're just like, I'm being abused.
On behalf of the lady that did it, though, she did feel really bad.
She did, and she loved Emery. Like, she absolutely loved her, and I'm not trying to talk bad about her at all. It was just like a freak accident because, I mean, it happened so fast. But anyway.
But before we move on from this, I do want to say this. South Carolina, I'm disappointed in you.
What do you mean?
I expect this out of Louisiana. This is
out of
something.
Arkansas.
Yeah, this is something you hear out of like Hot Springs, Arkansas, or Shreveport in a
But
daycare.
I mean, South Carolina is about the same.
I feel like South Carolina is a little more posh.
No, that's
of
North
Southern
Carolina.
state. It's
No,
to
that's
be-
North Carolina.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I want to move to North Carolina so bad. Well, I would rather. It's not necessarily North Carolina that I want to move to. It's the East Coast that I want to move to. I want to move to the East Coast so bad.
If I move to the East Coast, I'm moving further up than North Carolina.
That's fine.
Maybe somewhere around Virginia.
I'm good with
Maybe
that.
even further than that.
I'm good with that.
If I was to go up the East Coast.
I'm good with that. But as long as I'm like at least 2 hours from like the coast.
It's
I
not
want to
too
be
bad.
that close to the coast.
Sleepless in Mobile would have no what's it?
Authenticity.
Yeah, at that point.
None.
Sleepless in Delaware.
I mean, oh well. We'll sell it. Sell it to somebody.
Change the name.
No, but I would love to move to the East Coast, mainly because I think we've talked about this in a previous podcast, but the weather here in Alabama, especially like South Alabama, Mobile area that we live in, it's so muggy all the
Yes.
time. I mean, we are the rainiest, like Seattle has the most
We're the
rainy
wettest.
days. We're the wettest city. And it's true. And if you
Got
think
that
about it, like
drip.
we have, yeah, literally, you walk outside and you get that drip. But you walk outside and just like you can't even breathe because it's just so thick. The humidity
And-
is so thick. And then you have the heat. And so then it's baking all the moisture out of the ground. And you're literally standing in steam all day long.
All day long.
And it doesn't get any better.
And then when you work in a steel mill around heat all
Yeah.
day long, it
I
just
mean, I can't relate. But
it sucks that much worse.
I'll bet. I want to move somewhere where there's not as much humidity, which there could be humidity there. I've never been there.
No.
I'm just totally going
I,
off of like
I used
movie
to
references.
I used to work with a guy from Chicago, and he told me, he said 30 degrees in the winter here and 30 degrees in the winter in Chicago is completely different. He said, I can't just wear a hoodie down here in 30-degree weather because of the humidity.
Yeah,
Makes it that much
it goes
colder.
into your bones.
Right. He said up there, a T-shirt and a hoodie in 30 degrees, you'd be comfortable.
Yeah.
Down here, it's not so much.
No, because it's so wet down here. Like that cold is like bitter cold.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't really speak for anywhere else because I really haven't been anywhere else to experience anybody else's weather. I mean, I've been other states and stuff, but I mean, I haven't really lived there long enough to really. I've been to Indiana, and that was so nice during the winter time.
Yes.
Or
The
I went
summer.
during the fall.
I went in the summer.
I went in the fall time, and it was so nice. But I mean, I wasn't there during like the winter, so like the snow and
So
stuff like that.
I can attest to these three things. So we went to Missouri in March that year.
Yeah.
It was super cold.
I remember everybody was commenting because I mean I loved it. I loved that cold. I was wearing a kayaking skirt, so that's like basically like almost like a mini skirt. But I was wearing that and my chacos and a hoodie in Silver Dollar City, and people were like, "Aren't you cold? Your legs are making me so cold." And I was like, "No, this feels amazing." Plus, I mean, we were hiking up the freaking hills.
Yeah, we're not built
Silver
to
Dollar
hike.
City. So I mean, I was golden, but I wasn't cold at all. But that was nice.
There was one day, I think the second day we were there, it was cold. Remember,
Yeah.
we went and bought clothes because we were like,
well, that's the
I
day.
packed for the spring.
Uh,
I didn't pack for late winter still.
no, because that's what I wore. It wasn't that cold because
It was
I
to
bought the
me.
chacos up there, and I bought that hoodie up there. So I mean, actually, I bought that skirt up there too.
Yeah, from Bass Pro Shop.
Well, the whole outfit came from Bass
the
Pro
whole
Shop.
drip, yo. Back to the drip. Anyway, so where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. March here, it's already getting hot
Yeah.
for most of the time. Late March, it's already getting hot.
Yeah.
But then you go, I've been to Chicago in April, and it is still cold.
Yeah.
I've been to Indiana in July. Wake up in the mornings, and it'd be 60 degrees outside in the mornings. The entire
See,
week
that's
that I was
just-
in
It's
Indiana.
not fair.
And it would heat up and not even be muggy. It'd be like 90 degrees.
Well, like the other thing, besides the weather, another reason why I want to live on like the East Coast is they have the seasons. So like down here, we do get a little bit of seasons,
Yeah.
especially this year. We've had more of a true fall this year than we've had in years. But they actually have like changing leaves like everywhere, and it's so beautiful. I love it. Then they actually have snow. And I mean, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I hate the snow, yada yada." You'll hate it once you get in it. No, if you live down here, you'll hate it in the summer. Like, you will hate it. So I can understand why you say that about the snow, but I feel like it'd be a good trade-off for me.
I would enjoy it.
I think I would
'Cause
enjoy
I don't
it.
like
I
the
mean,
su-
I know
I don't
they
like
say as
summertime
soon
anyway.
as like it comes, like they enjoy it, but as soon as it falls, it just gets muddy and that kind of stuff. I get it, but it's muddy down here all the time.
One of the perks of you know, this will never happen, but if we ever did move to the East Coast, is because there's so much history there, and I like history.
Yes, me too.
Like,
I hate
would
history
love,
books, but I love history.
I would love to go see like the Liberty Bell and
Yes.
you know all those the what's it called, Smithsonian museums in
Yes.
DC,
Yes.
and that
Shout out
is
to
like,
Brian Andrews. Whenever I was working at Andrews Hardware, I wanted this particular. It was whenever Tervis was at like the top of its thing right there. It's kind of like the Stanleys,
before
you know.
Yeti come out and like
Yeah.
destroy.
Well, now
Purvis.
Stanley is like taking place, but back whenever Tervis was like doing its thing, I used to order the Tervises, and I wanted this particular Rosie the Riveter one, but they wouldn't sell it to us because it was a Smithsonian collection, and we didn't have that license to carry Smithsonian. So he had to like on the phone beg the representative to be like, "Hey, we're not selling this at the store. It's literally for one of my employees. Can you please just send it to us?" And they actually sent it to us. And I was so excited. So that's where that Tervis
I
came
didn't
from.
know that.
Yeah, Brian
I
actually
drank a lot of sweet tea out of that cup.
I know. I love Rosie the Riveter. So that kind of stuff I'm so intrigued by. Like right now I'm reading Anne Frank, or the Diary of Anne Frank, and oh my goodness, kids just are not the same anymore at all. She speaks with so much like eloquence, and like it's unreal the words that she uses, and I feel like an idiot because I'm over there like trying to sound out this word that this 13-year-old wrote in her diary
Spelled correctly.
in an annex in Holland, and I'm just like, I don't. Was it in Holland? Was it Holland that I'm reading her diary and don't even know where
Netherlands,
she's
wasn't it?
at. I'm pretty sure she was in Holland.
That's the Netherlands, I think.
Okay, well.
For somebody who's
Okay,
a map
I don't
freak
know.
like myself, I just know that. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Either way, I'm sorry if she's not in Holland.
Oops.
Or was not in Holland. But anyway, yeah. I love that kind of history. I'm fascinated with World War II. But I would love to just go up the East Coast and see all those different homes and all the different, like, just the cobblestone streets. I love that. Even in downtown Mobile, we have some of those, and I
But
love
it's not as awesome
them.
as those would be.
No, because it's like a 100-yard stretch of cobblestone down here versus
Like,
up there.
I've been as far up the East Coast as Maryland,
Yeah.
and there's a double armload of just like these huge Catholic churches. There's just like big architectural
See,
masterpieces.
I am an architecture person. Oh my gosh, I could stare at a building for hours
Maryland,
and never see all the details.
the Baltimore area, DC area is super dangerous. It's like hard to get in there now and have a good time. But back when we were up there in '99, it was so nice. The Inner Harbor region was kind of like their downtown Mobile area.
So 99, you were like
6, yeah.
Yeah.
I just turned 5 actually because we were there in January.
So
of
you
99.
can remember stuff. You could remember getting beat up.
Yeah.
Mm.
But the Inner Harbor area in Baltimore, dude, was so awesome back then.
Yeah.
Like ESPN had this big.
I want to throw some tea in the harbor.
Huh?
I said I want to throw some tea
That's
in the
in
harbor.
Boston, dude.
Ain't that what you just said?
No, Maryland,
Oh.
Baltimore.
Oh, you didn't go to Massachusetts.
I've never been that far north on the East
Mm.
Coast. I've been as far. We did. So what? The reason we were
It's
there.
still the East Coast.
It's
If
still
you
the
throw
East
tea,
Coast.
you know, it is still.
The reason we were there is my dad was up there working, and it was right. I hadn't started school yet because my birthday fell late. So I had just turned 5, and then January rolls around. So we go up there and stay. And so I went with my uncle Wayne, and my cousin's then husband, John. And we were looking for this big flea market that was apparently off the side of the interstate. somehow we completely missed that flea market, and it's not that far of a drive. It's a couple hours, but still,
Yeah.
we ended up in New Jersey. It was supposed to be in Baltimore. We ended up almost in New Jersey.
That's crazy.
Looking for this, and we finally found a flea market after we had to turn around and come back. But it was an adventure.
That's
But
ridiculous.
I remember it a little bit. The snow was like thick. It was so cold. I got frost. The only time I've ever had frostbite.
You had frostbite?
Yeah, it was just starting. Like it didn't. I didn't get black or anything.
Yeah.
But my fingertips were bright red, like Rudolph nose red, and they were aching. I had to go stick them in front of a heater. Like I remember them hurting so bad. Like I felt like they were going. You could thump them and they would shatter. That's how bad it felt.
Yeah.
And then I remember Daddy said one night, because he worked night shift, they were in a shipyard working. It was 25 below zero with the wind chill. So it gets cold.
Yeah.
But I remember, dude, all these Alabama people in this, we all stayed in a small apartment. There was like 8 of us in this small apartment.
At least y'all were warm.
Dude, it was so hot in there. I opened up the window. I had the window opened up, and I wouldn't close it. And then Mama's brother, he showed up to stay. He showed up to work, and he couldn't get me to close the window. So he goes and wakes Mom and Daddy up. I remember this like it was yesterday. Daddy comes out, son, you got to close the window because everybody's over here behind me on these pull-out beds shivering. You could just see the covers vibrating. I'm over with my feet hanging out the window. They were burning me up, dude. It was
See, that's our sign that we could survive up there.
Yeah, I had PJs on, but I
Yeah.
didn't have no socks on. I had my bare feet hanging
I
out
just
this
feel
window.
like it's my vibe. Like, there's a girl that I follow on YouTube, and she lives in New England.
Boston, Massachusetts.
I just love it up there in her videos and stuff, and I'm just like, man,
Boston is my number one state to visit on the East Coast, or
you
Massachusetts.
should move there.
Massachusetts is my
move
number
there.
one state.
I'm not saying anything negative about like Mobile in general. Like, obviously, Sleepless in Mobile, we need to kind of represent a little bit. Like, it is a great place to live. It's a great place to raise your family, but I'm just not vibing with the weather down here. I have curly hair. I mean, I have to really treat my hair for this humidity, and I'm tired of treating my hair for this humidity. I just want to be able to have my hair and not wash it for like a good 3-4 days.
Jeez, just be nasty.
No, it's not nasty. I mean, I know most of the guys, if they're listening to this, like, they would consider that nasty, but the girls listening, they're like, yes, that is healthy. Like, it's a healthy thing not to wash your hair that often, because it strips your hair of its natural oils, and curly hair especially is a naturally dry hair, and it needs all the help it can get to stay moisturized. I know that's a little tangent, but anyway.
Even if you go out and you break a sweat, you sweat for 12 hours, you still shouldn't wash your hair.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna wash my hair. That's disgusting.
I mean, if you've done that every day,
I would wash my hair every day, but
Okay,
I'm not doing that every day.
well, I mean, I'm asking.
Oh, okay. So you're asking like the level of dirtiness of my
Say
head.
one of the ladies that work in the steel mill with me.
Now
they
they
sweat-
should wash their hair every
Okay,
day.
I'm asking, is it
I'm
healthy?
a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I'm not saying I don't work, but I'm saying I don't work to that extreme to make me sweaty.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
I know
I'm in
what
the
you're
AC,
saying. I'm
like-
asking though, is the same thing applying to these people who are busting a sweat out in a meal all
No.
day?
They need to
Okay.
wash their
I
hair.
was about to say,
That's
they ain't
disgusting.
washing their hair every day.
That's nasty.
Their hair is probably gonna fall out anyway from all the chemicals we're
I'm
around.
not saying you should not wash your hair. I'm just saying, like, if it's not dirty, don't wash it.
Right.
There's
Well, I
a
wash mine
difference.
every day.
Anyway.
That's I was always confused by that, and I was like, this would be a good time to ask that question. We're like,
Yeah, I'm not saying don't wash your hair if it's dirty. I'm saying you don't have to wash it if it's not dirty.
do
anyway.
you prefer the curly hair, or would you rather have straight hair?
I prefer curly hair
Why?
because and this is like the most random little tangent.
I don't care.
But I prefer curly hair because it does require a whole lot more effort whenever you're getting out of the shower than straight hair, where you just like basically brush it and blow dry it or whatever. But I can do so much more with it without having to do anything else to it. So I don't have to style it with hot tools or make sure that I sleep with heatless curls in or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, even girls with straight hair, they use a straightener to make the frizz go down most of the time. Or they have to put, like, a lot of products in it just to make it not, like, frizz or be oily. Because a lot of straight hair people have issues with oily, like, scalps. Me, on the other hand, as soon as I get out of the shower, it has to be dripping wet, and then I, like, load it down with mousse. And everybody's different. Every curly girl has their own methods, but literally curly girl method. It's like it's like an actual thing. But I put a ton of mousse in my hair, and then here lately I've been just letting it air dry. Like, I part it down the middle. That way, whichever way I part it on the side, because I'm a side parter for the most part, it'll have volume to it. Because either way I flip it, it'll be going in an opposite direction because I actually let it dry down the middle. Anyway, that's a lot to say, but I used to use a diffuser, and a diffuser makes it to where, like, I'm like teaching Justin about hair. A diffuser, like, makes it to where your hair dryer doesn't blow in one single direction and cause, like, your hair to just, like, go crazy. Basically, it redirects the air to where it doesn't blow as hard and in one big direction. I'm so sorry. Like, everybody's like asleep on me right now. Sorry. But yeah.
I was just curious mainly about the nasty hair, and if you're sweating every day, you probably should wash your hair.
Yeah, you should wash your hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I really wanted out of all that.
But you did ask me.
I did, but I didn't know we was going to go
well,
rabbit holing.
Don't ask Liz a question if you don't want a rabbit hole.
Rabbit holing over here.
No. I promise you, I keep looking at Emery's hair, and I'm just like, maybe whenever she gets a little bit older, it'll be curly.
I don't think so.
Maybe it'll be curly.
I think she's going to have my hair.
Probably. But it's not white like yours was. Hers looks like mine whenever I was little. It really does.
But yours was curled up at
no,
this
it wasn't.
age, was it not?
No. It really wasn't.
What year would you say you were when you started getting curly hair?
Like 2.5.
I don't think she's going to have curly hair, though.
Sad. Yeah, Cordelia's hair is so cute. My sister-in-law, Mary, her little daughter, they have 4 kids, but their youngest one has the cutest hair.
She has them Shirley Temple curls.
Oh, my gosh. It just, like, makes me melt every time I see it. And, I mean, I'm not happy with Emery's hair, obviously. We're so glad she's got hair. Yes, but I'm just saying, like, it does make me kind of sad as a curly hair person myself that my daughter doesn't have curly hair. But I'm blessed that she's as healthy as she is.
Amen.
I'm not trying to be all, hating on my daughter.
We have her saying amen whenever we say grace when we eat, and it's the cutest thing in the world. It's amen. Mm-hmm. Amen.
She's a stinker.
She is. She's something else, dude. Attitude for days. I wasn't expecting that. Well, I wasn't expecting that much sass out of somebody that little.
I didn't realize I was that sassy.
She is like...
I've pretty much been at home with her, so she's kind of...
picking up traits from Mom.
I didn't realize I was that sassy. But I am.
Like, you tell her something, it's like, no... Or she'll throw her fit. She'll growl. I don't know where she picked the growling up from. I really don't.
It's from you. You would growl at her all the time.
Do I?
Yes.
I don't feel like I growl at her.
You do. Anyway, she gets a lot of that from Sesame Street too, though, because Cookie Monster, she'll like do the monster sound.
But yeah, the growling trips me out every time she does it. Like even if we get onto her for something, she's like, argh.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
She's been getting in trouble a lot here lately. I don't know how many things I've found in the toilet.
Elmo.
Elbow. Elmo, her elbow. I'm like,
as long as my back scratcher don't go in the toilet, we're good.
Goodness gracious, that Elmo's in the wash machine right now on hot cycle.
So, I got another question I want to ask because of the time of the year that it is. What day did you put our tree up?
November 1st.
November 1st.
Yeah.
See, to me, that's maybe a week too early.
What is a week?
It makes a difference. It makes a difference because it was hot that first week of November, and now we're in that.
No, it wasn't.
The first
Because
it was October. It was kind of
October
cool
31st was Halloween, and I was in that booger costume, and I wasn't hot. So I mean,
that's true. It was, but it got hot right after that. That's what was throwing me off. But now it feels like fall/winter for here.
Look, you didn't have to pull out the stuff, so you shouldn't have to complain about it.
I did.
That's the way I feel.
I did pull the stuff out. I did carry all this.
You didn't?
I didn't put the tree together, but I pulled it out of storage and stuff.
No, you didn't. I piled all that into my car.
Oh, all that stuff. I pulled the tree out of storage. I forgot we didn't put all that stuff on my truck that day.
This man has the audacity.
The audacity.
I loaded all that crap into my car.
Well, we were going to get it that night. And
We were, and you said no.
Threw me off. We grabbed one box. I think it was just fall decorations, though. But anyway, my question is, when does everybody put their tree up? I don't particularly like the fact that my mother waits till Thanksgiving.
She's always waited till Thanksgiving, though, because she gets a live tree.
I know, but this year, the drought, I wouldn't get a live tree, personally.
Well, this year with the drought, our local tree farm, they had to close this year only.
Yeah.
Because they lost over 1,000 trees due to the drought.
Which is ridiculous. We have a bad drought. We're making up for it this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Our area is getting a lot of rain, but
I love our artificial tree. I got it from Hobby Lobby.
You're dancing around my question here.
What was the question?
Like, when is optimal time to put your tree up?
Honestly, I don't celebrate. I mean, obviously we did this year. I don't really celebrate Halloween, though. Like, every year whenever we were at our old house, whenever we lived in Axis, I would set up a table for, like, the trick-or-treaters to come to our driveway instead of coming to my door. Because we had a kind of spread out neighborhood a little bit. Some people participated, some people didn't. So the ones that were on side-by-sides, I just didn't feel like they should have to walk all the way up our driveway. So I set up, like, a little table. So I didn't really celebrate Halloween. So I could technically put a tree up in October.
That's too early.
Look, I worked at the hardware store for 11 years, something like that. And we had to put up Christmas September 1st because, you have to sell it. We're retail.
Yeah.
The amount of comments that I got saying, it's too early for Christmas. It's too early to be putting out Christmas stuff.
Hobby Lobby, I don't think ever puts it up.
Yeah, they do. But they take it out in, like, July. So it's really pointless.
We put it up in February because they have to do all their sales and stuff.
Anyway, the amount of comments that we got at the hardware store complaining about seeing Christmas stuff in September, all I have to say is it's retail. And we've had people buying it in September. Those comments, though, made me want to put out Christmas. I'm kind of a spiteful person in the deep, 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 deep part of my heart. And some of those comments make me want to put out Christmas stuff in September or October. Because I'm just like, who are you to deprive me of joy? If I find joy in it, and it's not hurting you, it's in my home, leave me alone. It shouldn't matter when you put out Christmas stuff. I'm not waiting until December to put out Christmas stuff. No. I am not. No, it takes too much effort to put up Christmas stuff, and you can't enjoy it. Like, I want Emery to have fond memories of Christmas. And yes, while she would have a whole month, even if I put it up, well, like I just did, November 1st, that's 2 months to celebrate Christmas. That's plenty for me. But I'm not going to do it in December.
I think the second week of November is optimal. That's like...
No. That's basically Thanksgiving. What are you complaining about?
Thanksgiving's the third week, isn't it? Fourth week.
Yeah. So what are you complaining about with your mom?
Thanksgiving, you got so much going on. You don't want to be dealing with that. You want to have that
dealing
done
with
beforehand. What? The tree.
That's why you do it November 1st. Optimal time. Halloween's over. All the Christmas stuff's going out on the shelves. Already on the shelves.
And I'm sure there's some people out there that never take their Christmas tree down.
Oh, I know there are. I've passed their houses.
What's the latest you've ever kept one up?
Nobody got Ashley beat. Our kids right now are going, "No, Mom, she's talking about you."
Again.
Ashley had one up until like after Valentine's Day one year. It was like knocking on March's door. But no,
goodness.
I think the latest that I've ever had one up is like mid-January ish. Remember whenever Emery was, we were about to go in the hospital with her. We had her January 3rd, and I made sure that I had my Christmas tree down and everything put away before we went to the hospital. And so, I mean, I know I shouldn't have been, but I was up on a ladder getting like all the stuff off the tree and everything. But I'm just hard-headed like that, though. Call it naive, call it stupidity, whatever, but I'm just hard-headed.
Stubborn.
I'm very stubborn, I will give you that.
Stubborn.
Well, when I want something done, I want it done right then. And the best person that I can boss around is myself. So I don't ask for help because I hate dealing with people and their timelines. I have my own timeline, so I won't ask for help because I can get it done when I want to get it done, when I need to get it done, and I ain't got to worry about it. You know what I mean?
Got that boss mentality.
No. I got that underpaid employee that's been there 11 years. Oops. Mentality.
Dang.
I'm kidding.
Burn the bridge.
No, I ain't burning no bridge. I loved working there.
Match.
No, they ended up, offering me what I wanted, but it's just, I didn't really want to go that route. I wanted to try something different.
And here we are.
Trying something different.
Doing different, baby.
I told Mary because she was texting me about, an avenue she was wanting to try to venture. And I was telling her, I was like, well, look, when me and Justin have a dumb podcast where we talk about stupid stuff, I was like, seriously, you can't do any worse than what we're doing right here. And she was like, well, I did need a pep talk. And I was like, look, we still wandering in the desert. We still here. Don't be afraid to do what you want to do.
13 weeks of wandering around
Don't
aimlessly.
be afraid. If we can do this unsuccessfully, you can do that.
And still be happy about doing it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't let anything bring us down.
Nothing. We like the roaches that don't die. Nobody can squash us.
Come back with a crutch and one leg bandaged up and sticking way out.
Yep.
We're just like, we're coming back for more. We here to ruin somebody's day.
We are here for another podcast.
I'll rock 12 views a week for the rest of my life. I don't care.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I'm not gonna lie though, it's getting where it's more enjoyable to do it.
It is definitely more enjoyable.
At first, I was like,
it was hard at first because, we were trying to be like, I mean, it wasn't like we were trying to be professional, but at the same time, like we weren't as fluid as this right here.
yeah. But
by no means.
Here we are.
Oh god.
Going nowhere.
A hamster on a hamster wheel over here.
Ain't even nobody dangling a carrot in front of us or nothing. We just going in circles.
I don't know. I enjoy it, honestly. I wish I had more time to delegate. I wish I had more time to really spend time, like, thinking about content or coming up with different... Because I have so many different things that I want to do artistically. And I just feel like I can't get those done because... And I know Justin views this as an excuse. But it's true. Like, Emery, I can't turn my back for 2 minutes and she's into something she shouldn't be. Or if I'm on my tablet trying to, like, draw something, she's on my lap trying to take my pencil from me. And it's just a struggle. And then they're like, well, do it while she's sleeping. Look, she only sleeps for, like, an hour during the day, sometimes 2 hours during the day. So at nighttime, you know, I'm trying to just relax or I'm trying to go to sleep because she wakes up at the butt crack of dawn. And then other times we're doing this right here. Or I'm trying to edit the podcast. But I have so many different irons that I want to put in the fire. And I just don't feel like I have the capacity to be able to do it. And it makes me sad. Because
just stick one of them babies in there. See what happens.
This is the baby. This is
Pick
the
another
baby.
one. Just go, you get in there.
This is the baby. No, I mean, I don't know. It's so difficult. And then I have, like, my sister-in-law, Mary. She has 4 kids. And she's a powerhouse of a woman over there. She's just, like, sewing quilts and doing this and doing antiques. And I'm like, how in the world? She says that it's because her older ones, take care of the younger ones for the most part. I don't believe that. I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong. But she's just like awesome. Like, I just don't understand it.
Maybe you need to get her over here to explain it to you one day. Break it down for you.
And then she's like, well, if you need me to watch Emery. I'm like, what? Mother of one, ask mother of four to watch her child so she can get something done? How low down does that sound? I was like, well, thank you, Mary.
If anything, you should view what you're saying as a pep talk to yourself.
I was like, man, that sounds horrible. Like, here, can you watch my child? Yeah, throw him in the crowd. Like, what in the world? I'm a horrible person. But no, anyway.
Sometimes, though, I think you do use her as an excuse.
See, I knew you did.
Hold on. Hear me out.
I knew you did.
Not because you can't do it with her, but because of the fear of something maybe failing.
Of what I'm doing failing?
Yeah.
I could see that.
You don't want it to fail.
I am definitely that person that I don't want something to fail whenever I do it because I try to do it with all I have. And my name's going to be on it. So I don't want to not do it with my full effort. Like, I don't like doing something half-heartedly. If I do something, I want to do it and do it right. So, I mean, I could see your point there. But honestly, that's not it. Bruh, it's so hard with her here to be able to do something. If she had, like, a sibling, we are trying, for those that don't want to know. We are trying. We are trying for another one. And I feel like a sibling would be so beneficial for her because it would take me kind of out of the picture as far as entertaining her. But then again, maybe I'll have two of her trying to get me to entertain them. So then it would be like
double the work.
Double that I can't do it.
Done.
Double that I can't do it. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution is there. Wait till she gets older. But then I don't know. Like, what do you do? Those out there, what do you do? What do you do in this situation? We're staying in a studio apartment basically with like one bedroom and one bathroom and like one big open space. So it's impossible to like lock her anywhere.
Jeez.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, put up
Go
a
in
gate.
the closet, baby. Go play with the shoes.
I meant like put up a gate. Like, I can put up a gate, but in either room, there's plenty of stuff for her to get into and just like make a mess. And what do you do? Just like let them have a mess and just clean it up after you get done doing what you're trying to do. But then that's so much work because it makes it almost dreading. It makes you almost dread what you're trying to do because you're going to have this huge mess to clean up after you get done. Like, we just went in the bedroom a while ago and she got into my tissue box and had torn up Kleenex tissues everywhere.
It's like half a box.
And we made her pick every bit of it up. I mean, I did help her a little bit, but for the most part, she picked up like 80% of it.
She done really good, though.
Yeah.
She was like...
She tried to deviate a little bit. She tried to like, oh, shoes? Like, no. Pick it up. Like, we don't want her to like make messes and then just be able to get away with it. Because that way, I don't know, anyway.
But she sees you cleaning so much, though, she's like...
Yeah. And that's another thing. Like, maybe I'm just... I separate my time too much that way. Like, I'm cleaning too much versus, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Maybe pick one day a week to work on another project. Just pick one day and try to devote that day.
That would be a good idea, actually.
Not try to, like, do it every day, but pick one specific... Pick one specific day.
As long as you didn't say Pacific, we good.
Pick one specific day and like work on one of those projects.
Yeah. That's actually a really good idea.
Just force yourself to be like, Emery, stop. Emery, go watch whatever.
I feel like me making my list. So recently I made a list of everything that I really want to get done. And I feel like that cleared my mind up so much because I had it all just like floating around in my head and like, it was like ping pong balls or pinballs, They were just like hitting different things in my head. Like every now and then one would come to the, forefront and then another one would and another one would. And I'd forget about another one and it'd hit again. And I'm like, ah. So I finally like wrote everything down just to get it out of my head and I wouldn't have to like try to remember it anymore. And that's another thing that I have a problem with is like my memory. But it's because I keep trying to like think of things so much. Anyway, I feel like I've been like jabbering like crazy.
No. What kind of projects you got? You want to talk about it or not really?
I mean, not really. Like
Okay.
it's nothing that I haven't already discussed before.
Okay. I didn't know if it's something new you
No,
thought of.
it's nothing that I haven't already discussed before. Like I want to, do more digital art and have it either on my Etsy shop or stuff like that, my Instagram.
Right.
I would love to do the designs for like my cousin's company that I was telling you about. But it's just a different art style, and it's so difficult for me to change my art style. And I've been trying to look at different references and, mock it until you get it, like copy it until you kind of learn your own style. But at the same time, I hate copying people because I feel like that's not authentic. So then I'm just struggling over here. Like, I can't present a piece of art and then it just be like a replica of somebody else's, because that's stealing basically. So I don't want to do that. So I've been trying to like figure out how to go about making this particular style of art. It's like a Western style, and that's not my style at all. And I want to do that. I want to do more for the podcast, like make it, just better. Trying to figure out how to do that. I need to figure out how to do the sound, like the music and everything for the podcast, because we got flagged on one of them that we did because I downloaded some quote unquote free music and it was just like not even words to it. And we got flagged for copyright, but I mean, it was usable. Like they said, it was usable. Like they wouldn't take it down, but it was also copyright to where if we ever were monetized, we wouldn't get paid for that. Not that any of these would be the ones people listened to. But these are like the beginning of the beginning ones that nobody would really listen to. But I don't know. Like there's just a lot of different small things that were just taking up space in my head. And now they're on my iPad. So,
Yeah, I think your resolve to that is just take Thursday and make that your project day.
Yeah.
I think you could really start getting some stuff done if you just like forced yourself.
Yeah. Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know. There's just so much that I want to do, and I don't feel like I ever have the mental capacity to do it. I set a timer on my phone for social media for 30 minutes a day, which is nothing. Nothing. Because I would spend hours scrolling. And I'm like, think of the time that I've spent on social media, just like scrolling people I know, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like they're quote unquote friends, but I never even see them. Or they're people that I've never even really talked to in real life. I just know them by association. And I'm over here like reading their posts. Like, I don't even know these people. Why do I care? They just got a horse. Like, okay. I don't even know what state you live in. You know what I mean? like why am I following that? I'm just wasting so much of my life. This is actually my life. It's not just your time. It's literally your life that you're wasting away watching other people and their life.
This is a horrible sales pitch for this, you know that? Because
they're driving to work. They're doing stuff. Trust me, they're doing something while they're listening to this. They ain't just sitting there watching their phone with the little time going. They're doing something. That's what I love about podcasts, is that you're not wasting your time while you're listening to a podcast. You're clearly doing something else. Like I'm washing dishes, or I'm folding laundry, or changing a diaper. I'm doing something while I'm listening to a podcast. So I'm not wasting my life listening to a podcast. Granted, you can't like read a book or watch TV or something, but then again,
It is a good time filler for when you're doing something.
Yeah, when you're doing something that you could be doing two things at one time, like driving and listening to it, or fold laundry and listening to it. So it's not something that you're just devoting your time to listening to.
Right. I have don't know where I was going to go with that. Well.
I love doing that, though. Like, I love being productive with my time. I will say that. I love being productive with my time. I don't really play games on my phone. The ones that I do play, and I was going to mention this. I don't know why, but I was playing it last night, and I was like, I should mention this on the podcast. Like, anybody would be interested. But if you like Sudoku. If you like Sudoku. God, I can't say that. If you like Sudoku, you would like this game. It's called Nonograms, and it's basically like a Japanese game as well. But it's just kind of a similar concept, but it's with blocks, and it paints like a whole picture. And it's really interesting. I like it. It challenges my brain. So I play Sudoku, and I play Nonograms. And if I'm not doing those, I'll do Duolingo, like learning a language. I just hate wasting my time. But then again, I was scrolling for hours on social media. So,
the only game that I played that involved blocks was Minesweeper.
That was like Windows
2.
Yeah, no, Windows 1.
That game was a classic, though, man.
It was a classic.
I'm not good at
played
math. That's the
solitaire.
reason why I don't like Sudoku.
It's not math. It's literally not math. It's just logic. It's literally like counting 1 through 9 so many times. Like, does this block have 1 through 9? Does this line have 1 through 9? Does this one have 1 through 9? There's a 1 on top. There's a 1 on the bottom. So there's clearly having to be a 1 in the middle right here. That's literally what Sudoku is. I love it.
My dad loves it. I can't.
The Nonograms, you can get like expert level, and it makes it like a super small grid. But I can't play it on my phone on the expert level because it's so small. Like, my finger can't touch the right block, and I die. Like, 'cause you have like 3 hearts. So frustrating. But on my tablet, expert level's where it's at. Oh gosh, I love it. I know nobody knows what I'm talking about. But for those that played Nancy Drew growing up, because I was a Nancy Drew girl growing up. A lot of Pentecostal girls were, though. That was like the thing to play was Nancy Drew. So my aunt would burn the CDs for us. She was stealing. The Pentecostal lady was stealing. But she would buy the CD. She would play it herself, but she would burn me and my sister a copy of it. So we would play all these different Nancy Drew games. But there was one particular one. It was Shadow on Water's Edge or something like that. I forget what it's called. But they had a Nonogram on there. And that's where I first discovered them, and I fell in love with them.
With the Nonogram.
Yep, Nonogram.
What a name.
Yep. I know that was very interesting. But I probably just turned somebody on to Nonogram, so whatever.
Turn people off to this. This is where the views just went.
Hey.
That's where
What have we said about that?
That's where the end of watch is.
What have we said about that? If I'm interested in it, probably somebody else is too.
Maybe.
A lot of people like Sudoku, so if they like Sudoku, they'll like the Nonograms.
Are you ready to wrap this up?
I reckon so. Since you're hating on my Nonograms over there.
Well, episode 13 in the books.
Yep, in the books.
Next week,
13,
I think.
that's a scary number.
Ooh, no, lucky 13.
We should release this on Friday.
No, we're not doing that. We're gonna call
My
it lucky.
dad, I'm going to say this, though.
Okay, go ahead.
My dad is superstitious of 13s. Like, legitimately. Like, I know that a lot of people are, like, superstitious of them. Like, he is legitimately superstitious of them. He lost a best friend, and he had been seeing a lot of 13s before he lost him. So, it kind of reinforced his suspicion of 13s. So, now every time he, like, sees it, he thinks something bad's going to happen. Our address in Axis had 13 in it.
He wouldn't come over.
Maybe that's probably why he wouldn't come over. Anyway, I just thought I would share that. Dad won't listen to this episode.
Anyway.
Thank you for coming and listening. If you're still here, thank you.
You're a champion.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.